proverbial cabin in the woods has become a recognizable and iconic setting in the horror genre. The sense of isolation creates vulnerability. The surrounding woods create an eerie atmosphere. A lack of comfort, electricity, phone reception, or transportation. Plus, small budgets just love cabins. No more than the movie that pioneered the setting, Sam Raimi's original Evil Dead. Talk about lightning in a bottle. Evil Dead was a terrifying and often hilarious masterpiece. In 2013, Pete Alvarez brought us a more serious interpretation of the classic. This is Evil Dead. Well, we're off to a strong start. A teenage girl chained to a post.
Daddy?
Is this about wrecking the car? It looks like she's about to be murdered or worse, but what started looking like a human sacrifice turns into an exorcism. Demons hate apple juice. She pleads with her dad not to burn her, but it's no use.
I will rip your soul out, Daddy.
Kids say the darndest things.
What? Oh, she's possessed. She must be a lost cause because they skip the whole holy water chanting stuff and go straight to the fire. Not to be that guy, but this is a basement. There's probably better places to be setting a fire that doesn't have a house directly overhead.
I love you, baby.
You have a funny way of showing it.
Sometimes I miss the old GTA. David, Natalie, Eric, and Olivia arrive at an old family cabin deep in the woods. They're here to help get David's little sister off heroin. They also have a dog named Grandpa, named after their grandpa who also liked pumping things. The best treatment for withdrawal? Close-up magic.
Promise me you'll stay with me until the end.
Sweet, yes. Ominous, hell yes. Maybe you should wish for some methadone. She dumps the rest of her H down the well. 1, she had that the entire time. 2, I hope that isn't their only water supply. And 3, if there are any animals down there... Party time! Anyway, there's plenty of nostalgia and fresh air. That's better than heroin, right? Plus a nail gun in case somebody wants to go on a homicidal rampage later. I don't think a movie ever brings out a nail gun unless it gets used later.
Nailed them both.
Mia has a history of relapsing, and once she even OD'd and died.
So we don't want to give her that chance this time.
Did I put in the right movie? Detoxing off heroin cold turkey could be a lot easier with some heroin. There's a baby on the ceiling. Yeah, we've all seen the ceiling baby. Just what she needs. More needles.
But there is something dead, and it reeks.
She who smelt it. Well, we found the source of the smell. How'd we miss this? You know what relieves the DTs? Tetanus and spider bites. Hey, this is like that movie, Cabin in the Woods, which was satirizing the original. Circle of life. Ain't that right, Simba? Room full of dead animals? That is such a red flag. By the way, this is where that girl was torched in the beginning. So did they just break in and borrow the cellar? They find something considered so dangerous, it's wrapped in plastic and barbed wire, so naturally they bring it up to where they eat and sleep.
You shouldn't have touched anything from that basement.
So far, the addict is the sensible one. Mia's friends are with her, even when she's roaming alone outside in the rain. It's like Christmas in hell. He finds the one book they should be banning. Oh, thank God it has pictures. He reads everything but the warnings, apparently. So let's get to the Evil Deading already. Yes, there's a cat on my desk. If I see a bye-bye man, I'm out.
Kunda, Estrada.
What in the world compels anyone to read something like this out loud? You want Emotep? That's how you get Emotep. Mia is first to suffer because of one Latin-speaking nerd.
I have to get out of here right now. We've decided we're not going to take you back.
Listen to the junkie for once. They won't drive her back, but they don't exactly tackle her when she grabs her car keys. So far, her friends suck at interventions. They let her wander around alone. Even when she's puking her guts out, nobody's holding her hair. If you've seen the original, you know what's about to happen.
Mia gets tied to a tree, then an evil version of herself spits up a gooey wad, and that wad crawls up her hoo-ha, and she gets possessed.
I bet you wish you stayed on H. Are they supposed to leave her alone so much?
Just try to get together. Feel better tomorrow. High five!
Well, the dog died. Automatically, they blame it on the strung-out junkie scalding herself in the shower.
They find Mia taking a really hot shower. She's gonna get dry skin. Whatever's left.
Can we take Mia to a professional now? Wrestling my own demon here. Is this the Necronomicon or the shooting script? No leaving now. You had your chance. Now you have a possessed addict with a shotgun.
Put the fucking gun down!
You are all going to die tonight.
Now this is Evil Deading. Right down to the copious amounts of blood and puke. Right in Olivia's face. She didn't even go, Cat owners know what I'm talking about. They lock Mia in the cellar.
I'm scared that what's happening to me has something to do with the fucking witchcraft in the basement.
You mean the witchcraft you screwed around with by reading the book? Victim number 2, you're up.
Olivia is possessed and spills her popcorn butter.
Eric finds Olivia slicing her own face off. Ah, yeah. It's one of those.
You wanna know how I got these scars?
He winds up having to beat Olivia to death in self-defense.
I released something, David.
So this was all your fault. Mia lures Natalie into the cellar because we just can't allow the movie to stop now.
I can smell your filthy soul.
Sorry, I've been sweating a lot. Mia bites Natalie on the hand, so she's doomed now. The next part, I could use some help.
Mia picks up a box cutter and splits her tongue in half. Then she kisses Natalie right on the mouth. Hot.
Look at the bright side. I think she's off the heroin. Stop trying to burn books, people. Nothing left to do but exposition. The demon unleashed needs to claim 5 souls before the abomination rises from hell.
Once he feasts on 5 souls, the sky will bleed again.
That's looking a little infected. Okay, a lot. Natalie's getting possessed bit by bit. To stop it, she lops off her hand with the electric knife. Mine won't get through a turkey bone, much less a humerus. Not that I've tried. This pauses the possession for now.
I had to do it.
The possessed must be cleansed.
To save the possessed, you have some choices.
A live burial, bodily dismemberment, and purification by fire.
If I kill my sister, she'll be at peace.
No, I said pieces. In pieces. I guess cutting off her own arm didn't help. Nailed it. Glock glock biatch. David blows her remaining arm off, and she seems to return to normal just before bleeding out.
Why does my face hurt?
It's a good news, bad news situation. David pours gasoline all over the cabin. This will purify Mia and give him a nice insurance payout, so it's a win-win.
I love you.
Mia starts singing a childhood song, so David can't bear to bring himself to burn her, so that just leaves burying. First he builds a defibrillator, MacGyver style. Then he digs a grave. It's raining, so the basement floods. Just can't burn this place down fast enough. But Mia isn't being very cool about this. She tries to drown David, but Eric saves him. But he gets stabbed and dies.
David?
Mia tries head games, but David buries her alive.
Shut up.
Once he's sure it's been long enough, I'm not sure how he knows that, he digs her back up. Shockingly, see what I did there? The defibrillator does not work as expected. But it turns out it did work, fake out, and Mia is alive, not possessed, and her tongue seems to have healed.
You're so horrible.
When David goes back for his keys, so they can leave, finally, Eric's possessed body attacks.
Get out of here.
He sends Mia away so he can blow up the house in peace. But it's not over just yet. David's death is the final soul needed to bring the big boss fight. I thought it needed 5 souls. If Mia's back to normal, did she get her soul back? Or are the souls like Pokemon? Once you catch it, but you'll still have it in your book. Anyway, it starts raining blood and the abomination rises.
Push the little daisies and make them come up.
There's no driving away from this now. Mia runs, well, crawls really, to the shed where she picks a weapon. Groovy. Mia uses a chainsaw to cut off the abomination's legs. In return, she flips the Jeep over, and it pins her arm. She has to make a tough choice. Ah.
I will feast on your soul.
Based on this motherfucker.
She splits the abomination right down the middle, and this defeats it. What? What were you looking at? It freaks me out when you do that, dude. There's nothing left to do but walk out of here before she bleeds to death. But don't worry, the book's just fine. That was Evil Dead. Let's talk about the shift in tone. I have to fight the urge to compare it to Raimi's version. It's bloody, it's gory, and with a lot more on-screen violence. It's more grounded, grittier, and a lot more serious. It's not as campy or cartoony. So when viewed on its own merits, it's a decent horror movie. It still pales in some ways when compared to the original. No Ash, which I'm glad they didn't try to recast Bruce Campbell. That would have pissed me off. He does appear in a pointless, unconnected post-credit scene that does nothing but pander to fans. Still loved it, still groovy. Giving our final girl an addiction problem was a very metaphorical angle. But the movie quickly casts aside one destructive consuming force for another. Jane Levy delivered a standout performance, grappling with addiction and possession. The supporting cast also delivered solid performances of fear, paranoia, and desperation. But having this guy read out the spell just seemed to happen because the movie needed it to. And again, have I mentioned how bad her friends are at rehab? This evil is darker, more menacing, less silly. Practical effects are well done and lend a grounded quality to the gore. I'm glad they didn't go full CGI. Something about buckets of blood raining on a chainsaw rampage that just can't be beat. The original was gory too, but that approach was so over the top, it didn't come off as gruesome. This finale caught me off guard. They really seemed to want to double down on what made Evil Dead a classic. But did that have to mean that 2 characters cut off their hands? Rating this is complicated. On its own, Evil Dead as a standalone movie, 3.5 Bs. It's not perfect, but with some intense gore and gruesome violence, Evil Dead is a thrill. It feels like it relies on the gore a little too much, and once you peel that away, so to speak, it's a pretty standard horror film. But when compared to the OG, it really loses a full B. It lacks the charm, the camp, and the fun that made Sam Raimi's version feel so original and insane.
Groovy.
And if you're curious, I rated the original Evil Dead 5 Bs. So I really have to appreciate these as 2 separate films, each with their own strengths and both offer 2 distinct experiences. But if I had to own just one, it would be Sam Raimi's. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles. First he builds a defibrillator.